Hello everyone. So in carbohydrates part 1, 2 and 3 lectures we have discussed about majorly the open chain structure of glucose, cyclic structure of glucose, and then open chain structure of fructose, cyclic structure of fructose, and then we have discussed about different kind of forms, Haworth structure, chair conformations, after that ozone formation, anomers, epimers, and then reduction reactions and all those things. So in this present lecture part 4 of carbohydrates, so we are going to discuss about the interconversion of one monosaccharide to another monosaccharide, one monosaccharide to another monosaccharide. So that is called interconversion of monosaccharides. So let us move to the topic. So conversion of monosaccharides, interconversion of monosaccharides. So one monosaccharide is converted to another monosaccharide. So how the process would be there, right? So there are four things which we have. So one is conversion of aldopentose to aldohexose. Next is conversion of aldohexose to aldopentose. Next is aldohexose to ketohexose, and fourth one is ketohexose to aldohexose. So these four are there. The first one is aldopentose to aldohexose. So aldopentose means the carbohydrate which is having aldehyde functional group, which is having 5 carbons. So that is what is called aldopentose. For example, simple example is arabinose. Arabinose is a 5-membered carbons having carbohydrate which is having a aldehyde group. So that is arabinose. And conversion to aldohexose. Aldohexose is having aldehyde functional group with 6 carbon atoms. For example, glucose. Glucose is a aldohexose, right? So this kind of synthesis is called as Kiliani synthesis. Conversion of low carbons having carbohydrate to one carbon having more carbons this kind of synthesis is called as Kiliani synthesis. So means lower number carbons carbohydrate to higher number carbons carbohydrate is called as Kiliani synthesis. Kiliani synthesis. So in this we are converting a pentose to a hexose. So pentose is having 5 carbons and hexose is having 6 carbons. So that is a Kiliani synthesis. That is n number carbon carbohydrate is converted to n plus 1 carbons carbohydrate. So we are increasing one more carbon to the monosaccharide chain. So that we will be getting a hexose, right? That is the best example for this Kiliani synthesis or conversion of aldopentose to aldohexose is conversion of arabinose to glucose. Conversion of arabinose to glucose. So now we will be seeing the mechanism of conversion of arabinose to glucose. So just observe here, this is a structure of D-arabinose, right? This is a 5 carbons having carbohydrate, right? So here this is the structure. C double bond OH first carbon, second carbon OH group at left side, third carbon OH group is at right side, fourth carbon right side, and then CH2 OH, right? So if we want to increase, so we have to convert this 5 carbons having carbohydrate to 6 carbons having carbohydrate, right? So we have to increase 1 carbon. So the carbon can be increased by attaching with a cyanide group. By attaching a cyanide group, we can increase 1 carbon. After that, we will go for further reaction, right? So now the first thing is this arabinose is reacting with hydrogen cyanide, that is HCN. So as we know, aldehyde group is present. So this aldehyde group is reacted with hydrogen cyanide. So this CN minus is a nucleophile which attack at carbonyl carbon. So then this carbon will that oxygen will get minus charge, and so that you will get OH. So H plus, see here this Cn minus is added to the carbon, and this H plus will be added to the oxygen, so that you will be getting OH, right. So here this Cn is added to the carbon and double bond O will become OH. So this is called cyanohydrin. This is called cyanohydrin is formed. Aldehyde is reacted with hydrogen cyanide, it forms cyanohydrin, right. So here there are two possibilities, right. So here the carbonyl oxygen is converted to OH group. So that OH group may be at right side or may be at left side, means the orientation of OH group may be at right side or may be at left side. So means this arabinose, after reacting with hydrogen cyanide, it gives a mixture of cyanohydrin, in which are having OH group is at right side and one is another one is OH group is at left side, right. So that we will be getting two cyanohydrins, right. So when this cyanohydrins undergoing for hydrolysis process, right, when this cyanohydrins are undergoing for hydrolysis process, so this cyanide group which is there at first carbon, that is cyanide, will be converted to carboxylic acid. So cyanide group is converted to carboxylic acid, right. So as we are getting two cyanohydrins, these two cyanohydrins are converted to carboxylic acid. One is giving gluconic acid, another one is giving manoic acid. One is giving gluconic acid and another one is giving manoic acid. So through fractional distillation we will separate these two, will separate gluconic acid and manoic acid. So gluconic acid upon reaction will give glucose and manoic acid upon reaction will give mannose, right. So here now we will take gluconic acid, right. So this is gluconic acid which is formed from the previous reaction, right. So when gluconic acid is undergoing for heat, so then there is a formation of gamma lactone. So this is COOH and this is alpha carbon, second carbon is alpha carbon, third carbon is beta, right. So this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon, this is gamma carbon, right. So now the OH group at gamma carbon, the OH group is at gamma carbon is reacting with carboxylic acid group, right. So the carboxylic COOH, C double bond OH. So this OH and the gamma carbon hydrogen will leaves as water, the gamma hydroxyl oxygen hydrogen will leaves as water, that is OH from here, H from here leaves as water, and there is a bond formation between this oxygen and this carbon. There is a bond formation between this oxygen and this carbon. So we will be getting a cyclic structure. This is called gamma lactone, because gamma carbon oxygen is reacted with carboxylic acid group, so that there is a bond formation between gamma carbon oxygen and C double bond O. This is a cyclic ester, those are called lactones. As gamma carbon is involving, this is called gamma lactone, right. So when this gamma carbon is undergoing for reduction in the presence of sodium amalgam, and this bond will break, and so that one H will be added here, another H will be added here. So one hydrogen will be added to C double bond O, so that it will be converted to CHO, and one hydrogen is added to oxygen, so that you will be getting OH, right. And this is the structure of glucose, so that we get a product of glucose. So this is the conversion of aldopentose to aldohexose. So this is arabinose is converted to glucose. Through this process glucose is there. So here in the previous step, so here we got manoic acid, right. So from this manoic acid, if you go similar kind of reaction, we will get mannose, right. So this is the this process is called as Kiliani synthesis. Conversion of aldopentose to aldohexose is nothing but D-arabinose to D-glucose. This is the process, right. The second one is conversion of aldohexose to aldopentose, right? So here aldohexose 2, that is aldohexose means 6 carbons having carbohydrate is converted to aldopentose, that is 5 carbons having carbohydrate, means 1 carbon less carbohydrate is formed, right? This is called Ruff's degradation. Degradation means decreasing, right? So 1 carbon is reduced. 1 carbon is reduced. Here we will be converting a carbohydrate with n carbons having carbohydrate, which is converted to n minus 1 carbons having carbohydrate. So 1 carbon would be less in the final product. So this is called Ruff's degradation. The best example for this is a conversion of glucose to arabinose. So in Kiliani synthesis we have converted arabinose to glucose, and in Ruff's degradation, that is glucose to arabinose, that is nothing but aldohexose to aldopentose. So now we will see the mechanism of conversion of glucose to arabinose. So observe here, yeah. So this is D-glucose. As we know the structure of D-glucose. So when this D-glucose is treated with bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent, right? So this aldehyde group upon oxidation because of bromine water will be converted to COOH. So this is called D-gluconic acid, right? So as glucose is treated with bromine water, we will be getting D-gluconic acid, right? So when this D-gluconic acid is a carboxylic acid, like a acid, and when it is treated with a calcium hydroxide, that's a base. So observe here, see this gluconic acid is a carboxylic acid, and when it is treated with a base, right? So here as acid, from this acid one hydrogen will be reacted with base OH group, so that those leaves as water, and this calcium plus 2 is reacted with this acid, so that we will be getting calcium D-gluconate. So here calcium plus 2, and this is 2, right? So this gluconate, this hydrogen will be removed because of the base will take that hydrogen, and right, and there is a salt formation, that is calcium gluconate is formed, that is COO minus. So COO minus 2 and calcium plus 2, right? So this is this calcium gluconate upon reaction with H2O2 and FeSO4, okay, hydrogen peroxide and ferrous sulfate. So that is called Fenton's reagent. So when this calcium gluconate is treated with Fenton's reagent, then this C double bond O leaves as CO2, and there is a arabinose is formed. The next carbon. So as this COO minus leaves as CO2, and the next carbon is undergoing for oxidation, and then it is converted to CHO, right? So the first carbon, that is first carbon COO minus leaves as CO2, right? And the second carbon CHOH is converted to C double bond OH, that is oxidized to aldehyde group, so that we will be deriving a arabinose, right? So this is the conversion of D-glucose to D-arabinose. This is called Ruff's degradation. So in this, D-glucose initially is treated with bromine water, and it is converted to D-gluconic acid. As it is a carboxylic acid, it is reacted with a base calcium hydroxide, and then it forms a calcium salt, that is called calcium gluconate, right? So this calcium gluconate is treated with H2O2 and FeSO4, then this because of this, the CO minus leaves as CO2, and the second carbon is oxidized to CHO, so that will be getting D-arabinose, right? This is called Ruff's degradation. This is the mechanism of conversion of aldohexose to aldopentose, and in this case the Fenton's reagent is we are using. That Fenton's reagent is called H2O2 and FeSO4. This Fenton's reagent is doing two things. One is removal of COO minus as CO2, and then oxidizing the second carbon to CHO group, oxidizing the second carbon to CHO group. Because of that only D-arabinose is formed, right? So this is the conversion of D-glucose to D-arabinose. Next we will see conversion of aldohexose to ketohexose. Aldohexose to ketohexose. Aldohexose is like glucose and ketohexose is like fructose. Aldohexose is glucose and ketohexose is fructose. So just observe here, all of you. Yeah, just observe here. So this is the structure of D-glucose, right? So here when glucose is treated reacted with excess of phenyl hydrogen, right? So when glucose is treated with excess phenyl hydrogen, then there is a formation of osazone. So that is called glucosazone. Glucosazone is formed. So as we have discussed in the previous lecture in the formation of osazone, right? So when this osazone is undergoing for hydrolysis, then what will happen? The bond breakage takes place here, that is C double bond N, C double bond N. At both carbons will break, and that is converted to, that is first carbon is converted to C double bond OH and second carbon as C double bond O, right? So because of the hydrolysis, the bonds at first carbon and second carbon, that is double bonds between the carbon and nitrogen will break, and that first carbon will become aldehyde and second carbon will become ketone, right? So this is called D-glucosone, D-glucosone or D-fructosone, D-glucosone or D-fructosone. When it is reacted with, when it is undergoing for a conditional reduction, a conditional reduction with zinc and acetic acid, a conditional reduction with zinc and acetic acid, this zinc and acetic acid will reduce the first carbon aldehyde, will reduce the first carbon aldehyde only, so that the first carbon aldehyde will be converted to CH2OH. Then this is CH2OH, C double bond O, and then CHOH, CHOH, CHOH and CH2OH. So this is the structure of fructose. So right, so we will be getting D-fructose as a product. So this is D-glucose is converted to D-fructose. So this is the conversion of aldohexose to ketohexose. So in this, so D-glucose initially treated with excess amount of phenyl hydrogen, it forms glucosazone, then it is undergoing for hydrolysis. Because of that, these bonds are break, right? So those two are getting C double bond OH and CO, and then we are reducing with zinc acetic acid. Zinc and acetic acid reduces only first carbon aldehyde, so that aldehyde is converted to CH2OH, then we will be getting the fructose. So this is the conversion of D-glucose to D-fructose, nothing but aldohexose to ketohexose. The fourth one is ketohexose to aldohexose, right? So ketohexose is nothing but fructose and aldohexose is glucose. Now this is the conversion of fructose to glucose. Previously we discussed glucose to fructose. Now we will be discussing fructose to glucose. So just take the fructose, this is the structure of fructose, right? So when fructose is undergoing for reduction with sodium amalgam, right? So this C double bond O will be converted to alcohol, that is nothing but CHOH. So when it is undergoing for reduction, the C double bond O will be converted to CHOH, right? Yeah. So here as we are reducing the second carbon, so there is a orientation of OH group. If orientation of OH group is right side, that is called D-glucital. If OH group is at left side, that is called mannitol. If it is right side, that is glucital is formed. If it is left side, that is mannitol is formed, right? So we cannot we may not be knowing whether it is glucital will be formed or mannitol will be formed, because we are reducing the second carbon with sodium amalgam. So there is two products, reduced products are formed, right? There is two products are formed, one is glucital and mannitol, right? So we will separate these two mixture with fractional distillation. these two mixtures with fractional distillation. By using fractional distillation method, glucital and mannitol will be separated, because while taking glucital we will get glucose, and by taking mannitol we will get mannose as the product, right? So through fractional distillation we will separate glucital and mannitol. Now after fractional distillation we will take glucital, right? So after fractional distillation we will take glucital, right? This is D-glucital, right? So this D-glucital is treated with concentrated HNO3. It's a oxidizing agent, and then this as it is a oxidizing agent, that HNO3 converts this first carbon CH2OH to carboxylic acid, that is COOH, right? So that we will be getting D-gluconic acid, right? So this D-gluconic acid is undergoing for heat, so that the gamma hydroxy group, the gamma carbon hydroxy group is reacted with carboxylic acid, right? So here this OH and this hydrogen, carboxylic acid OH and hydrogen of hydroxy group at gamma carbon will leaves as water, and then there is a bond formation between gamma oxygen and C double bond O group, gamma oxygen and C double bond O group. So this is called gamma lactone is formed, right? So when this gamma lactone is undergoing for reduction with sodium amalgam, so then this bond will break and one hydrogen will be added here and another hydrogen will be added here, so that this carbon, this C double bond O will become C double bond OH, and this O will be converted to OH, so that we will be getting D-glucose here. This is the structure of glucose. So this is the conversion of fructose to glucose. So fructose, initially the fructose is treated with sodium amalgam, reduced with sodium amalgam, so it will be getting two mixture of glucital and mannitol, and this two are separated with fractional distillation. Then we will be taking glucital, right? So this glucital is undergoing for oxidation with HNO3, then it is converted to D-gluconic acid, and this D-gluconic acid upon heating it is converted to gamma lactone, right, by leaving water, and this gamma lactone is reduced in the presence of sodium amalgam. So then one hydrogen will be added here, another hydrogen will be added here, so that this will become C double bond OH, this will become OH, then we will be getting glucose. So this is the conversion of D-fructose to D-glucose. So here we have converted ketohexose to aldohexose. The next one is test for carbohydrates. Test for carbohydrate. So how to identify the given molecule is a carbohydrate or not, right? So here, so just take a carbohydrate molecule or a given compound and add concentrated H2SO4 and add alpha naphthol solution. So if we are getting a purple color or violet color, so the given compound is carbohydrate. So if we are not getting purple color or violet color, so it may not be a carbohydrate. Through this we can identify the carbohydrates. This is called Mollis test. That is Mollis test. So alpha naphthol is called as Mollis reagent. Alpha naphthol is called as Mollis reagent. So when carbohydrate is reacted with H2SO4 and Mollis reagent, then we will be getting purple or violet color. Through Mollis test we can identify the carbohydrates. The second one we know, that is Tollens and Fehling's test. If Tollens and Fehling's test are positive, so we can identify reducing sugars, right? So reducing sugars reduces Tollens as well as Fehling's test, which we have discussed earlier while discussing the reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. The third one is iodine test for starch. Iodine test for starch. So if blue color is appeared when iodine solution is added to a starch, then it is starch, that is carbohydrate, right? So starch will give blue color with iodine solution, so that we can identify the starch. The fourth one is Benedict test. Benedict's test, that is in the Benedict test, to a given compound you will add copper citrate, which is in blue color, right? So if it is converted to red color, that is Cu2O, then the given compound is a carbohydrate. So in this, the copper, that is Cu plus 2, is reduced to Cu plus 1, that is cuprous oxide. So this is in red color. So the blue color copper citrate is reduced to cuprous oxide, which is in red color. So this we can identify the carbohydrates, especially for reducing sugars. So this Benedict test is also for reducing sugars only, right? So these are the tests for carbohydrates. One is Mollis test, Tollens and Fehling test for reducing sugars, iodine test for starch, and Benedict test for reducing sugars, right? So here alpha naphthol is called Mollis reagent and copper citrate is called Benedict's reagent. Yeah. So in this carbohydrates topic, majorly we have discussed about classification of carbohydrates, that is reducing sugars, non-reducing sugars, and monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Next is structural elucidation of glucose, that is open chain structure. Next one is cyclic structure of glucose, right? After that, different forms of cyclic structure of glucose, that is Fischer structure, Howard structure, and chair conformation structure of alpha D glucopyranose. Similarly, Fischer structure, Howard structure, and chair conformation structures of beta D glucopyranose. After that, we have discussed about structural elucidation of fructose, that is open chain structure. Next is cyclic structure of fructose, that is alpha D fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose. After that, anomers and epimers, and examples for anomers and epimers. After that, interconversion of monosaccharides, so that is arabinose to glucose, that is called Kiliani synthesis, that is called aldo pentose to aldo hexose. The second one is glucose to arabinose, that is called Ruff's degradation. In this aldo hexose to aldo pentose. Next one is glucose to fructose, that is aldo hexose to keto hexose. Next is fructose to glucose, that is keto hexose to aldo hexose. The next one is test for carbohydrates. Thank you all.